Good afternoon, students. This is Jan John, and I am going to correct and improve the student's essay you can see printed below. The areas I have highlighted in bold either have mistakes or I am going to make some improvements. Remember, if you are listening to this on YouTube, you can see the script, although there will sometimes be mistakes as this is voice recognition software. So let's look at the student's answer. The question is about, is it a good idea to go out at night a lot and enjoy nighttime activities? So paragraph 1. Here the student can write at the present, but actually I think the best phrase here is nowadays. Nowadays there are many places that people can hang out at until the next morning with their friends, such as pubs and restaurants. Bangkok, the city where I live, also has many nightlife activities. I've introduced the phrase where I live just to tell the readers why you have mentioned Bangkok. For example, the Khao San Road, or in brackets, a very famous nightlife area for young people. There are many nightlife activities, e.g., not i.e., shopping. Clothes shop is really the same thing, so we don't need that. Shopping or eating street food, going to pubs or restaurants, or pubs and restaurants is also okay. Now the writer has used pub and restaurant twice in this paragraph, so it's better to try to use some different vocabulary. So for the second one, maybe we could say clubs and wine bars, just to vary the vocabulary. Paragraph 2, I do love to stay home at night rather than hang out somewhere else. I think the writer here means somewhere else, but remember we are talking about nightlife areas, so we should say something like hang out in popular nighttime venues. Remember, try to vary your vocabulary. The first reason is if I get back from the office early, I love to watch movies at home rather than go to a movie theater because I think that it is more private and relaxing. Here the writer has used I love twice in the first line and second line. First line and third line. So maybe in the third line we could change this to I really prefer. Maybe we could also give a bit more detail here about why it is more private and relaxing to watch a movie at home. So after relaxation we can put, when I watch a movie at home I can wear whatever I want and I can sit on my sofa and stretch my feet out while chewing on some snacks from my fridge. Third paragraph. Secondly, I love to cook dinner for myself because I'm trying to lose weight. Here again the writers used I love to again, so we need to change this. too much repetition. It would have been better to talk about trying to lose weight first before introducing the idea of cooking at home. Also, the writer goes on to say for 5 kilos within 3 months. So I think we'll change this first section to: secondly, at the moment I'm trying to lose 5 kilos within 3 months. And this is much easier if I stay at home where I can cook healthy and non-fatty food. The next 4 lines, so that I can select a good ingredients, should be so I can select good ingredients. Then the writer talks about contaminate and fatty foods. Contaminate is not relevant here. That is about disease. Fatty foods is, but we need to change these lines. So I think the best way to do this is just to give more detail. So after my first sentence where I said it's better to cook at home where I can cook healthy and non-fatty food, full stop. If I go out to a restaurant, I might be tempted to eat delicious but very unhealthy food, such as hamburgers and French fries. So as I am really serious about losing weight, I think it is much safer to eat at home. Paragraph 4. Lastly, I prefer to go to bed early because I believe that it makes me healthy. Better here to say it keeps me healthy and fresh when I go to work. I think we need a bit more detail here. So lastly, I prefer to go to bed early because I believe that it keeps me healthy, and furthermore, when I wake up the following day, I feel very fresh and quite ready for my day's work. Paragraph 5. But perhaps sometimes I do love to have nightlife activities. Here we're using love again, so let's change that. But perhaps sometimes it is nice to have, or better to say, nice to engage in nightlife activities with my friends. For example, by going to a restaurant which has good music. Here we don't need listening. Which has good music, where we can chit-chat. Chit-chat and talk are really the same things, so we don't need and talk. Chit-chat about our personal lives. The last part is again not relevant, so we don't like to hang out in the pub. Is unnecessary here. This paragraph is supporting why you sometimes like to go out at night. I think the point the writer is trying to make here is she wants a quiet place where she can talk to her friends. So if she wanted to add some information about the pub, we could have a final sentence, something like, "This is much better than going to a noisy pub where we cannot possibly hear what we are saying to each other." Final paragraph. In summary, I prefer to stay home at night because I think there are a lot of advantages. For example, if we have dinner or watch movies, we don't need at home here again. We can save a lot of money because the prices in restaurants or theaters nowadays is quite expensive. The conclusion is adding some new information. the fact that it's cheaper to stay at home rather than go out. That really should be in an earlier paragraph. The conclusion should normally just say that you prefer or do not prefer without adding any additional information. However, if you want to add some new evidence in the conclusion to support your main idea, you could perhaps use in addition. So paragraph 6 could look like this. In summary, I prefer to stay at home at night because I think there are a lot of advantages in addition to the ones I have already mentioned. We can save a lot of money staying at home because restaurants and theatres are quite expensive nowadays. Okay, the writer has done quite a good job here, I think. Thank you all for listening.